Arshavin. There'll be 2 minutes of stoppage time. Man in the box if he can get it across, and he has it off the line. Shot on follow-up, and it's turned in. And surely this time, Theo Walcott has won it.
Manchester United have done all they can. That Rooney goal was enough for the 3 points. Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
That's gone a serious header, and talk about an instant impact. Arsenal really are motoring now.
Lui, Francesco Totti, gran gol, Roma, strepitoso in questa via.
Fabregas, it's Nasri. Can he go all the way here? Still Nasri, looks Rashani! Wonderful play from Arsenal. Arsene Wenger's philosophy put into practice, and not even Barcelona can come up with an answer.
I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again. So watch it, drink it in.
Seattle Sounders in rave green, Toronto FC in red from head to toe. Cut back there from Osorio, feeding it through. Jermaine Defoe, an opportunity for his first MLS goal. 16 and a half minutes into his debut.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Futbol Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Reggie. As usual, we can be reached at the website www.futbolweekly.com. That's football spelled F-U-T-B-O-L, weekly.com. Also, you can hit me up on Twitter at Reginaldinho. All that information is on the Contact Us page of the website. So navigate to the Contact Us page and you'll be able to actually email me directly with any show topic comments or any comments that you have about previous shows or stuff that you want to hear later on in the year. International break this week, so there's not really much to talk about domestically. But all the European national teams are in qualifying mode. So there's lots of games going on there. We're not going to recap many of them here, but we do have a jam-packed show. Actually, we're going to talk a little bit about the Trinidad and Tobago women's national team and their struggles and to try to qualify for the World Cup in 2015 here in Canada. We'll hit a little bit about David Moyes' new job. We'll talk about David Beckham's son signing with Arsenal. We'll talk about African Cup of Nations, African Footballers of the Year, and we'll touch a little bit about the MLS Playoffs as well. If we have time, I have a little. I'm not going to talk about Arsenal this week. I got a little bit of a mashup to play you for the last half hour, so I hope you guys enjoy that. But anyways, as usual, sit back, relax, and take in the Futbol Weekly Podcast. We'll be back after this. I want to start off the show with a story from the Caribbean. For those of you that aren't aware, 2015 Women's World Cup is taking place next year in June. Host country is Canada. So the women's teams are going through all their preparations and qualifying, just as the men are doing for Euros right now. And it's on a smaller scale, obviously, than the men's soccer. The men's soccer is full of money. I mean, the federations will do anything in their power to get their men's teams into the World Cup. But when it comes to the women's game, things usually fall by the wayside. If you're not a powerhouse, Brazil, China, Germany, USA, all the other countries kind of get pushed to the side. By their federations, and I want to make that clear. It's not by the people that are watching them; it's by their own federations. And I have a case in point right here. During my reading this week, I came across an article written by Kevin Baxter from the LA Times. It's a great article, actually, to shed light on some things that are going on in most women's federations or most women's teams and the federations that house them, but you just don't hear about. The Trinidad and Tobago women's national team set to qualify for the World Cup in Canada. Last round of qualifications happens to take place in the United States, where they'll be playing the USA and I believe Costa Rica. How they fare in those games will determine whether they get into the World Cup or not. And they would be the first Caribbean nation, actually women's nation, to make the World Cup. And to make it this far is quite an achievement for them. So, just to give you the finer points of the article, the coach of the Trinidad and Tobago national team, his name is Randy Waldman, sent his players to the USA ahead of him. He was leaving a couple of days later. Sent them to the United States. They were actually playing in Dallas. And he gets a phone call during the night. He answers the phone to find out that 13 of his players are stuck at the airport. And he's like, well, stuck at the airport, why? What's going on? They don't have enough money to get a cab to go to their hotel. And reading the article, it can't be a shock to the coach, Mr. Waldman, that there's no money available for his players. But the article didn't get too deep into that, just relaying the fact that they were stuck at the airport and didn't have money for a taxi to get to the hotel. So you're thinking to yourself, if they don't have money to get to the hotel, how do they have money to eat? Like, what are they going to do for all of that? Like, are they going into their own pockets to do all this, or what? Because I know the men's national teams, whether it's Jamaica, and I'm talking Caribbean teams, Jamaica, Trinidad, whatever, they're being taken care of by their federations, no doubt. Jamaican men's team isn't getting stuck at the airport with no way to get to their hotel without any money for a taxi. There actually wouldn't be any taxis. There'd be a shuttle or a bus to take them to their hotel. We all know that. That's not news. Getting back to the story. Randy Waldman, the coach of the Trinidad and Tobago national women's team, gets on Twitter. Sends out a message to Twitter. Hey, got some players stuck at the airport in Dallas. If anybody can do anything at the time, I'm here in Trinidad. I can't help them right now. If anyone can help them out, just for now until I get there and we sort things out, please help them. So the main reason for the tweet was to have people in Dallas help out his team. But the tweet garnered enough attention and even donations from as far as Poland. People from, I believe he said, Singapore to Poland were donating money to their cause. The people in Dallas came through with water for the players, Gatorade, protein bars, even practice kits. And some of the restaurants in Dallas even offered free food for the players while they were there. And another amazing event out of this story is that the Haitian women's national team actually took half of the money that they had in the bank, which is only about $1,300 that they had in the bank, which they raised through donations and fundraisers and things like that to get them to and from games. They gave the Trinidad team half of their bank account. It's $650, $640 or whatever they had in the bank. I couldn't see a team like the United States or Canada even having to go through this, but when the men's teams this would be a joke if it was the men's team. It wouldn't be true. But for the women's teams, it's a reality. So they have to get ready to play the United States, which is one of the best teams in the world. If they're not number one, they're number two in the world. And they have to get a result out of that game and their next game to make the World Cup. And they don't have money for food, and they're going to this place and they don't have money for food, and they're relying on donations from the people of Dallas and money coming in from people, anonymous people from all over the world. It's actually ridiculous, but the story goes on. They play the United States, and miraculously, they lose only 1-0. Now, I don't know who played for the United States, if they fielded a weaker team or whatnot, but they only lost 1-0, which is, in my eyes, is good. Because, like I said, United States is 1-2 in the world. And to come in the conditions that they came in, the United States, I think they did well, losing 1-0. With all that adversity, I think they did great. So the second game they have to play, they have to play Costa Rica. Now they definitely need to win. They need to win to have a chance. So this is the semifinals of the qualification. They need to win to have a chance to make it. And they played, And they played, and they played, and they played their hardest. But they ended up losing to Costa Rica 1-0 in penalty shots, actually. And for me, looking back on, like I said earlier, all the adversity that they went through, if this was a men's team, they would have no problem just shutting it down. No problem shutting it down. Oh, look, we don't have any money. Oh, look, no, we can't eat. Oh, look. And they would lose games 10-0 and come back home. But these girls fought, and they fought, and they fought. And they only let in 2 goals in 2 games. With everything they had to go through, they still came out and they showed their guts, and I applaud them. Trinidad Football Federation handed these players $500. And that $500, not $500 each. Let me say that again. Not $500 each. $500 total. And these players had to split that $500 for 18 days. For more than half a month, you have 3 meals a day and anything else that you need to pay for, whatever it be. I don't know, water for the water bottles at practice or your training or whatnot. Whatever it is. $500 for 18 days for 15 players. That's what the Trinidad Federation handed them. They would never hand the men's team that. They would hand the men's team $500 a day. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. People have to donate for your country's team to go to a tournament. It's embarrassing. And I would be very embarrassed, and I'm shaming the Trinidad Football Association or whatever the hell they're called. I don't even care what they're called. It's disgusting to me. If you want to compare it to the U.S. national team, there's a couple of players on the U.S. national team, namely Alex Morgan and a couple of other players. I can't remember their names right now. But they made $270,000 a year last season, not including endorsements. Alex Morgan is Nike, I believe, and McDonald's, and that doesn't include their endorsements. So it's safe to say she made maybe $500,000 last year. One person. And the Football Federation of Trinidad can't give money for players to get from the airport to the hotel and feed the players that are representing your country. It would never happen. It would never happen. Canada, Germany, China, Brazil, USA, never happen. I don't even think it would happen for an African team. Another question I have is where were the big countries when all this was going on? Where were Canada, Brazil, China, Germany, USA in donations trying to help these guys, help these ladies out? Where were they? And I know you're gonna sit there and say, Reggie, well, they might have donated in the background, just don't know about it. No. USA isn't doing anything that's not gonna get them publicity. If they donated money, they would have let you know somehow via Twitter, Facebook, whatever. You'd find out. USA gave money to Trinidad. Look how good they are. Canada the same way. Maybe not so much China. Maybe not so much Germany, but definitely USA and Canada would let it be known that they donated money to this team to get them here and have them survive while they were here trying to qualify for the World Cup. Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation actually paid back Haiti the money that they gave them. So they gave the Trinidad Football Association gave Haiti $600, thanking them for their donation. I mean, if you had it, I don't know why you wouldn't give it to the team in the first place. But there's lots of scandals and corruption within those organizations anyway. So you never know where the money's going. But it's definitely not going to the women's soccer team. That's for sure. If anybody wants to read this article online, I'll put a link to it on the website. Like I said, it was written by Kevin Baxter from the LA Times. Pretty good article. I just gave you a quick synopsis of what's going on with them, and it's a far cry from what the men's World Cup qualifications are. I can tell you that. Or men's World Cup anything, or men's anything, pretty much. Euro, Africa Cup of Nations, whatever the qualifications is. There's definitely not $500 being split up between 15 players for 18 days. Definitely not. So the plight of women's soccer outside of the big nations, USA, Germany, China, we even throw Canada in there, Brazil, Finland, Sweden. People don't know about it, but we have to support. If you like football, you like all kinds of football. There's those of you out there that only watch Brazil. There's those of you out there that only watch Barcelona. But there's football being played all over. I'll watch anything because I'm a football fan. I went to watch the Under-20 World Cup that was here a couple of months back in the summer. Under-20 women. I went to watch that because I'm a football fan. You need to support. And we need to bring issues like this to the forefront. Because a lot of you out there had no idea this was happening. And I didn't know it was happening until I read it. So, kudos to Randy Waldrum for getting it out there and getting his players help. And also, I always crack on people in this world. But also the generous people that gave up their time and money. And like I said, restaurants were giving them free meals and things like that. So I applaud those people as well. We need to get it straightened out and equal for men and women to play soccer. If there's no money, then women aren't going to play. And it's not fair to them. It's not fair to them. I know some women's soccer players that are better than men that I play with. So we need to support everything that's going on in football, whether it's men or women. So that's all I got to say about that. So quickly in other news around the world, the African Footballer of the Year nominees were named this past week. Unlike the short list for the European Player of the Year, well, there's more countries in Europe, so they probably need more names, but there's only 5 names on the list. Yassine Brahimi from Algeria, also plays for Porto. Vincent Yanyema from Nigeria, also plays for Lille in France. Yaya Toure from Ivory Coast, plays for Manchester City in England. Gervinho plays for Roma, Italy, and also Ivory Coast. And also Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who plays for Borussia Dortmund in Germany. He also played for AC Milan and is a citizen in Gabon. So those are the 5 names that are on the list. I don't know if it's a popularity contest for those picks as well, but I believe Yaya Toure would probably win it. He's probably the most dominant player on that list. But for those of you that has watched Yassine Brahimi play, when he played for Algeria in the World Cup, that guy's a player. And Porto snapped him up this summer. But that guy can play. The attacking midfielder for Algeria, and just the vision and the movement and the speed, and you can just tell players, and he's one of them. So I hope he wins actually, but I know probably Yaya Toure would win because like everything else that's voted on, it's a popularity contest. So we'll keep an eye on that, and then when the finalists are announced, I'll let you know, and when the winner's announced, I'll also let you know that as well. Other news in England, Brooklyn Beckham, yes, Brooklyn Beckham, David Beckham's son, has been signed by Arsenal. He's going to start playing. He's 15 years old now. He's going to start playing with the under-16 academy when he turns 16. Or he can't, well, actually, no, sorry. He's playing with the academy now, but he can't sign a professional contract till he turns 16. And I believe he turns 16 later on this year, so he'll be signing a professional contract with Arsenal. And I've never seen him play. Obviously, I don't watch under 15. I watch a lot of football, but I don't watch under 15 academy play. But from what I've heard, he's a pretty good player, skillful. I guarantee you it's just the last name that's getting him this contract. It's not fair for me to say that, because like I said, I haven't seen him play. But if this guy was Brooklyn James from Cape Coast, Ghana, is he being signed by Arsenal? Not sure. His 2 other brothers, actually, Romeo and I forget some weird name. Cruz Beckham. Romeo and Cruz Beckham are also within the academy, under 10 and under 9, I believe. And they're also with the Arsenal academy as well. So, being an Arsenal fan, I like to see. It'd be interesting to see how he fares coming up through the ranks, like Jack Wilshere and Kieran Gibbs did. But I'm kind of leaning towards the last name is paving the road for him. But I could be wrong, and hopefully I am, and we'll see if this guy is a player or not. In other news, ex-Manchester United coach David Moyes now has a new job in Spain, coaching Real Sociedad. In my opinion, never should have left Everton, and it's easy to say that looking back now because he was a flop at Manchester United, but he was in a great position. And when I say great position at Everton, I mean he could finish 7th, 8th, 9th, and it's a miracle. This guy's a miracle worker. He walks on water. Should have stayed there. Should have stayed there. No one was expecting his team to come in first, but they also weren't expecting his team to come in last. But his team was good enough to be where they are, which is 7th, 9th, 8th, 10th, whatever. And if he got them to 7th, it was a miracle on ice. Or a miracle on grass. If he got them 7th. If he got them into Europa League, it was like make this guy a saint. Then you go and you take over one of the most popular, one of the most richest, one of the in the spotlight teams in the world. Where if you lose 2 games in a row, it's your head's on the chopping block. You could lose 2 games in a row in Everton and tie somebody the next game. And it's like, whew, we're back on track. You lose 2 games in a row at Manchester United and everybody wants your head. The amount of pressure from the fans, from the amount of pressure from the media, what's going on, how come you can't fix it? I think it was too much for him too early. And I believe Manchester United didn't give him a chance. One season isn't enough to come in and then turn it around, and then you can see that with Louis van Gaal. I mean, this is a world-class coach as well. He's won Champions Leagues. He's taken teams to the World Cup. He's made it to the semis of the World Cup, Euro championships as well. And he has no answers for what's going on with the team. So you got to give time for coaches to come in and get their philosophy, and especially when the last coach has been there for as long as Alex Ferguson was. You gotta have time to implement your philosophy and your tactics on players. So hopefully he does a little bit better in Spain. Like I said, he's coaching Real Sociedad now, and I don't think they're just like Everton. They don't believe they're going to win the La Liga title, so they're pretty reasonable when it comes to that. Just to keep them up and not get them relegated and things like that. I think they'll be happy with that. So it should be not an easy ride for him, but just learning the culture and getting used to the players and how the league's played. It's different from England, where he's been pretty much his whole career. So hopefully he can turn that team around and turn around his career as well, because I believe he is a good coach, but I think he took on too much too fast and too powerful as well when he went to Manchester United. So hopefully he can show the world that he's a really good coach. So congratulations and good luck to David Moyes. Another story in world football. Africa Cup of Nations is this year. Well, actually next year, around January of 2015. And Morocco was scheduled to host the tournament. Due to the fears of Ebola in Africa, they turned down hosting the event because they don't want people to come in with Ebola to come watch, and now they have an epidemic in Morocco, so they turned it down. So Equatorial Guinea is now going to host the Africa Cup of Nations. For me, being my parents are from Ghana, so this tournament, I watch this tournament, I stream it. But for me, I would have canceled this tournament this year. This Ebola thing is no joke. Okay, you're gonna have millions and millions and millions of fans coming in to watch games. And believe it or not, African fans travel. Okay? African fans travel. So, you're going to have millions and millions and millions of fans in your country. Someone's going to be infected with this. And the risk of the spread throughout your population is too much. Now, of course, there's money to host it. You get money, obviously. So the lure of the money probably outweighed the the safety of the people of the country. It'd be funny to see how many government heads or heads of the football federations are actually at the games. Very interesting to see. For me, I would have canceled this tournament this year until Africa gets this, or actually Africa, but till the countries that are affected get this thing clamped down and figure out what's going on and make sure that everyone that goes to the games, the players, the fans, the contingents of all the national teams are safe. I'm pretty sure that if measles broke out or another life-threatening disease broke out in Europe, Euros wouldn't go on. Pretty sure Euros wouldn't go on, but Africa's a different animal, let me tell you. So, Equatorial Guinea is now hosting the Africa Cup of Nations. And I spoke to you last week about the World Cup in Qatar and building stadiums and this, that, and the third. And I've brought this up to friends of mine. For me, if you want to host the World Cup, you have to have stadiums already. If you have to build stadiums, you can't have the World Cup. And you're going to say to me, but that means that you're going to have the World Cup in same countries all the time, because not every place has 12 stadiums or 8 stadiums. That's too bad. That's too bad. If the World Cup has to be in Germany every 12 years, well, then it has to be in Germany every 12 years. If you got to build stadiums or fix stadiums or do anything construction-wise to stadium, you can't have the World Cup. And you're gonna say, and I know Africa probably would never host a World Cup, and South Africa was the first one to host it. And then that would suck because it was never in Africa. But all the things that are going on with these building of stadiums, with people dying, and the slave wages, and then all that being bandied about while the stadiums are being built, it's too much for me. FIFA should step in. Well, FIFA's a joke, but they should step in and say, hey, look, if you have to build stadiums, no. USA can have it, Italy can have it, Germany can have it, Spain can have it, France can have it. I'm sure China and Japan can have it. They have stadiums there for their leagues. Maybe even Australia. I don't even know how many teams are in the A-League, but if you have to build stadiums or fix stadiums, no. Sorry. Fix them with your own money, and when they're fixed, come bid again. But we're not gonna wait for you to build stadiums and put thousands of people's lives at risk to get this thing ready for the World Cup. That's just my view. MLS Playoffs have started, and actually they're still going on, actually. Like I said in previous podcasts, I'm done with TFC, and now there's rumors saying that they're going to get Wesley Sneijder or Steven Gerrard into TFC. But if Steven Gerrard comes to play for TFC, you've definitely seen me for the last time at a TFC game. Definitely. Wesley Sneijder, maybe I'll go to 1 or 2 games just to see him play, but if Steven Gerrard comes, I'm burning my gear. But anyways, in the East of the MLS, the 5 teams that made it were DC United, New England Revolution, Columbus Crew, I believe they're called, the New York Red Bulls, and the Sporting Kansas City. In the West, the Seattle Sounders, LA Galaxy, Real Salt Lake, and Utah, FC Dallas, and the Vancouver Whitecaps. Only Canadian team that made the playoffs this year. There's a knockout stage because 5 teams make it, but you can only have series with 8 teams, right? So 10 teams make it, but the series you can only have 8 teams proper going through to the playoffs. So there has to be a knockout. There has to be 2 knockout games, one in the East and one in the West. So the East knockout game was New York versus Kansas, which New York won 2-1. And the knockout for the West was Dallas versus Vancouver, which knocked out Vancouver because Dallas won 2-1 as well. So the seeding went like this: DC versus New York, New England versus Columbus Crew, Seattle versus Dallas, and LA versus Real Salt Lake. And this was the quarterfinals. So the quarterfinals in the East, DC United played New York Red Bulls, and the New York Red Bulls won 3-2 on aggregate over a 2-leg. All these games are over 2 legs, home and away. And New York won the series 3-2 aggregate. New England played Columbus Crew. New England won 7-3 aggregate over 2 games. In the West, Seattle played Dallas. It was 1-1. And it was 1-1. I believe the first game was 1-1 and the second game was 0-0. So they had to go to penalty shots. And Seattle won in penalty shots. And LA beat Real Salt Lake 5-0 over 2 legs. So the semifinals line up with New York versus New England and Seattle versus LA. And that's being played November 23rd. That starts November 23rd. For me, I see New York versus LA in the MLS Cup, which is in, I don't even know where it is. I think it's in Colorado. Yeah, I don't know where it is. So, but I can see New York playing LA in the MLS Cup, and I can see LA winning. LA is a great team. Robbie Keane, Landon Donovan. Yeah, so that's the MLS playoff picture right now. And for me, I'm the type of guy that once my team's out, I don't pay attention until next year. But that goes for everything: basketball, maybe not so much football. I like the Super Bowl, but basketball, hockey, even MLS. Even though I told you that I'm not a Toronto TFC fan anymore, but you know, once you have Toronto on your jersey, you gotta support. So, yeah, hopefully next year they can turn it around. I know Jermaine Defoe's probably leaving. Gilberto's probably leaving. Like I said earlier, they're probably trying to bring in Steven Gerrard or Wesley Sneijder. But I can't see that. I can't see those type of moves helping out this team. They've released a bunch of players as well this week, but I'm not going to bore you with the names because you probably don't know who they are anyway. So, yeah, so that's the MLS playoff picture, and that is that for the news. I'm going to get into, like I said earlier in the intro, I'm not going to talk about Arsenal this week because these guys have pissed me off no end. And everything I've said from podcast episode 1 to podcast episode 10, which was last week, has been the same nonsense. And you guys are probably getting sick of hearing me talk about it. Because I keep bringing up the same issues every week. And I'm getting sick of talking about it. So I figured, you know what? Why don't I put together some clips of actually the fans that go to these games? The fans that are in it. The fans that pay to go to see this team play. The fans that sit around the pubs and talk about it. How we talk about hockey in Canada and the Toronto Maple Leafs here in Toronto. These guys are talking about their teams in the pubs like we talk about whatever, sport, football, basketball, hockey, whatever. And I compare it to what I know, and what I know is how people talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs here in Canada. It could be July or August, and you can turn a dial and find someone talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs in August. You know, so these guys are talking about football the way we here in Toronto talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I know some of you were thinking, oh, you're always hard on Arsenal, and you're always down on them. You're not positive with them. I'm not that at all. Like Ian Wright said a couple of weeks ago in the clips that I paid you, I tell you the facts. And the facts are what I'm telling you, what I see. Okay? So I put together a bunch of post-game interviews from Arsene Wenger when he tries to explain what happened in the game that he should have won, that they lost. I've put together clips from fans that are outside the stadiums that actually I'll give them some recognition. I should give them some recognition anyway because I'm pulling their clips. There's a if you go onto YouTube and type in and search actually Arsenal Fan TV, you'll be able to see all these interviews. There's a guy called Robbie, big guy, goes around and talks to the fans that are outside all the stadiums that they go to that are wearing Arsenal gear. It's always after an Arsenal game. So he talks to them and says, hey, what went wrong? What was good? What was whatever? And the fans give you their opinion on what's going on. I listen to what these guys... I have my own opinion on what's going on, but I listen to these guys as well because they're in it. Like I said, they're in it every day. they're the ones going to the games and paying their money to see this team. And some of what they're saying is not any different from what I've said. But anyways, it's about 25 minutes long, so it's going to take the rest of the show. So I might cut in every now and then, but I'm just going to let it run. And when that's done, show's done. So I'll do a little bit of an outro at the end, but here we go. And just before we start, just a little disclaimer. Some of these interviews from Arsene Wenger are from last season, and some of them are from this season. But the majority of the fan reactions are from the last game that Arsenal played at Swansea, which they lost 2-1. I'm not going to discuss that game. I'm going to let you listen to these fans that are actually in it and at the games tell you. And I didn't pick and choose which clips to play to further support my Arsene Wenger out stance, but I mean, you can go online and listen. You can go online and listen to the clips yourself. That being said, let's get right into it.
And just how much did your emotions change during this evening?
Look, we looked to control the game in the first half and control their counter-attacks as well. But slowly in the second half, we opened ourselves up. Were less cautious defensively and got caught. And after that, the crucial point was when we were 1-0 down, they couldn't take advantage of a chance to score the second goal. And we kept going and managed to score two good goals because we had the spirit and refused to lose the game. But Anderlecht played well tonight, and you see that this country produces top-class players.
This was at tonight.
It was vital for us to have a chance to qualify. We are in a strong position now because Dortmund and Galatasaray and Anderlecht have only 1 point. We have 6, Dortmund 9. So it's down to us now to win our home games, and we are through.
You clearly have quality in the squad. You've proved that again this evening. Is it therefore frustrating that perhaps you're having to fight as hard as you are at this minute to get results?
I would say it's frustrating. It's part of our job, to fight until the last second. And we know by experience that in the Champions League, many goals are scored in the last 5 minutes. And we took advantage of that tonight, of course. But you would everybody like to have everybody available, but it's not always the case.
Can this sort of result help improve your consistency moving forward?
Yes, it will, because when you have the ball, you don't score and you lose the games. Sometimes the confidence drops, and it was important for us tonight, after a disappointing result on Saturday, to win tonight.
Just finally, we spoke yesterday about you were still confident of winning the group. Are you just as confident tonight now?
Yes, it's in our hands. Dortmund will be a tough opponent, but you never know. They will play now Galatasaray at home. We'll play Anderlecht at home. Let's first qualify, and then we see how far we can go.
Good birthday in the end.
In the end. Thank you.
We seem to be now turning into a one-man team. I think this Alexis Sanchez is an amazing talent. I mean, it seems to be doing what Gareth Bale was doing for Spurs a few years ago. Getting us out of the hole, and getting us in moments.
That's a good comparison.
Because for 70 minutes we couldn't break down a dog and duck, could we? I mean, it was horrendous. I mean, you're going on about, I heard you saying about how magnificent Monreal was today. I mean, Bully with that fridge on his back could have done the job.
But listen, you've got to play what's in front of you, and he didn't really put a foot wrong. He covered very well, and they didn't really get many chances. So you've got to big him up when he's done all right.
Oh yeah, but let's wait until 3 weeks' time when he's up against Falcao. I mean, let's wait.
Well, I'm hoping Koscielny will be back for that.
Yeah, exactly. So
You know what? One thing I was thinking today, looking at the Arsenal performance all year and last year, and I want to ask you this because I know you're a person, you're at every game. What is it with us and corners? We get so many corners in a game, right? Today again, corner after corner after corner, and
we can't. We're set pieces. We're terrible. I mean, our corners, it's awful. Yeah. absolutely all. We don't seem to be able to beat the first man all the time, innit? No one seems to be able to put even the Alexis today. I mean, he was magnificent. He messed it up, and it's getting to him as well, you know. but I mean, no, it was poor. Our corners are poor. I can't make it out. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they do it. I don't know what they're doing in training, but we're not. Do you remember the old days when the back header from Bold and Adams
Tony Adams, and I think that's the last time I saw a score from Bold. But listen, it's positive. It's another 3 points.
3 points.
We're still up we're still moving up the
3
table.
points, but there are worrying signs because even they were getting a couple of times they were getting through there. You know, I mean, it's still worrying. You know, I mean, 70 minutes not to be able to break them down. I mean, they're the worst side in the Premier League. You know, you know, let's put it into perspective a bit. I mean, everyone's going on about it's a clean sheet, but I mean, we should be getting clean sheets against them. You know.
What are your thoughts after that match?
Well, it's a very disappointing result because we played 10 against 10 in one half, and we're very unlucky on the referee decision on the first goal. And we gave a second goal. Our keeper had 2 shots on goal, 2 goals. And on the other hand, we put the spirit in, the work rate, and had to keep going. What saved us in the end, the point. But it's a long time where you didn't dominate the game so much and came out only with 1 point.
So just be clear why you felt you didn't win the game, bearing in mind you say you dominated it.
You look at the numbers, you look at the number of shots on goal, how many times did they come in our half, and you will see that they defended well and that we made it difficult for ourselves by giving them a second goal. And then we'll be unlucky as well, and the usual football game where one team defends and one attacks, and the team who takes the initiative doesn't always win, especially when you're 1 goal behind. It gives them morale to defend well, and they did it well.
So you feel you didn't win the game because they didn't come out of their half enough?
I didn't say that. You don't listen really well to me.
OK, so it was a combination of matters. 2 wins from 8 matches now in the Premier League this season. Who or what do you think is to blame for that?
Who is to blame? Why do you always want to blame people? We try our best, and we can only look at ourselves and nobody else. I don't understand your question.
Same old... No, but what is the reason, is I'm asking, as to why there are only 2 wins out of 8, would you say?
Well, I think at the moment we concede too many goals, and we have to look defensively, of course, in a game like that. At Chelsea we had 3 shots on target, 2 goals. Today 2 shots on target, 2 goals, and we're 2-1 up against Man City, concede a goal on the set pieces, and I think we concede too many goals.
A lot of the Arsenal supporters are looking at the fact there wasn't another centre-half or a defensive central midfielder signed in the summer. Can you understand why they say that?
I can understand everything.
Are they correct in saying that's the reason why things are not going well at the moment?
Look, you have to respect everybody's opinion. You have been at the game today. I don't know why you come up with such a question when you have seen the game today. I don't think that our problem was there today.
You said there was a problem in defence with conceding too many goals.
Yes, but some of the teams have bought many defenders and concede goals as well. I think it's more problem of concentration than of quality.
Another game where we've thrown away a lead. I mean, that's another damaging defeat.
Do you know what? Same old every fucking week, and I'm sick and tired of it now. I'm sick of Wenger. He needs to get out of our club. It's as simple as that. I'm sick of it. It's so predictable. I came here today and I could already predict what the team would be. It's boring. Same old Even other teams are predicting it now. And then what do? The second goal goes in and he goes, oh, let's make a substitution now. Should have made that substitution 10 minutes prior to that. It's so predictable. As much as, for instance, as much as we hate people like Mourinho and stuff like that, if he sees a problem, he'll make the change straight away. But Wenger will sit there, wait. Then something will happen and he'll go, oh, what do? He sits on the touchline.
Didn't you think, like, it was 1-0, we were 1-0 up, they get the free kick, great free kick by Sigurdsson. What are you saying? He should have changed it immediately there? They literally scored straight after, didn't they?
Even before we scored the goal, right, there was problems before we even scored. We were lucky to be 1-0 up. The first half was one of the worst I've seen us playing. We played awful loads of times this season. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of like, okay, we got the lucky goal. Let's go. But then it was like the first time we actually started passing and moving and doing something, we got a goal. But then they retreat back. They do the same as they always do, which is retreat back, invite pressure. They knew that our weak side was the right-hand side. Put balls in the box and you've got players that are lumping on the likes of Monreal. Monreal shouldn't be playing at centre-back. We're Arsenal Football Club. Why are we in the position we're in? Where we lose now. Cheers, mate. Where we lose one player, and then look what happens. At the end of the day, this is the man that got rid of Vermaelen and never replaced him. You know, at the end of the day, yes, we've been a bit unlucky with injuries, but at the end of the day, like I said, he got rid of Vermaelen, never replaced him. We're an accident waiting to happen, and other teams are looking at it now, playing Arsenal and going, oh, do you know what? We'll be all right. Lump the balls in the box, pull it in there, and they'll get chances. Same old shit, Robbie, and I'm fucking sick to death of it now. Sick to death of it.
Arsene, your thoughts on today's game?
Well, it was a very even game, I think, where in the moments where we've been unlucky sometimes, and as well, at the end of the day, they have a financial power and they used it in a very efficient way when they had the chances. Individual players who can make a difference made the difference. Hazard and Costa at the end of the day. And if you look at how many saves did our keeper make, you come out very frustrated. I think as well we could have had the penalty, and they were lucky on a few times with yellow cards. But overall, it was a good game where we gave what we had in the locker, and maybe we made a mistake on the second goal, where if we should have kept it 1-0, because we were really dominating the game at that moment, and the 2-0 was the killer.
Would you concede that you also should have worked their keeper more?
Yes, but they didn't work our keeper more than we did, you know, and I think we had more shots on goal. We missed some opportunities, I think, in the final third as well to take shots. It's kind of top-level games where you can lose on details, and the details went for them because they have shown the needed quality.
Was Laurent Koscielny fortunate to stay on the pitch? Could the ref have given a card there, a red card in your opinion?
No, because he went for the ball. I don't think it was a deliberate foul inside the box.
Now, obviously, there was an incident between you and Jose Mourinho. What's your version of events of what happened?
Nothing.
You can't say nothing. You're out of your technical area, and you've pushed him as well, Arsene.
Look, you have good cameras. I just went out to see what happened, and that's it.
On reflection, though, what will you say about it? Because you could well face sanction, because you have had previous, as you know.
I say absolutely nothing.
OK, that is your prerogative. In terms of the overall game itself, do you feel you made some improvement here today?
I felt, yes. We were solid. It was down to basically like many big games to the team who scores first, and they scored first. After that, they broke every time our counter-attacks up in a way where we couldn't use the fact we were overnumbered, and they do that very well. The referees, unfortunately, don't punish them here, but they're a good side, you know, and we lost a game where we come out as well frustrated because you didn't score.
It's only October, but 9 points behind Chelsea. Is that a concern?
Yeah, of course, it's a lot. And we had many difficult games until now, but with the quality of the team they have, it's a lot, but we'll fight to come back.
Arsenal Fan TV lads, very disappointing. 1-0 up, and yet again, another game where we've thrown away a lead.
Two times in 5 days we've thrown leads away. I mean, I was always Wenger in, but now I'm starting to question it. I mean, it's absolutely that. The first half, you can't even put words what the first half was. It was a complete shambles, shambles. I mean, the fact he waited till 75 plus minutes to make one substitution when we needed it, 60 minutes? It's just outrageous. I mean, as soon as that Gilford Sigurdsson free kick went in, he should have been out, shouting at his players and bringing Theo Walcott on to provide pace up front, because we had nothing. Yeah, we had no flanks, nothing. We were always playing through the middle.
I knew we was going to lose today. I just knew. We shit now. We got nothing. What is there?
it's just crap all over the pitch. The first half, as he said, you can't describe the first half. Literally, that is the performance of Burnley coming here. It's disgusting. And then we go 2-1 down, and Wenger thinks, oh, let's bring on the subs now. He should have been making that when we scored the goal, bringing on someone physical. But oh wait, we haven't got that because he's too tight with his money to buy who we need. I've always loved Arsene Wenger. I'm grateful for what he's done for this club, but now enough's enough. It's become a joke now. You travel 6-7 hours on a coach. You got you travel out to spend your money on that shit, and it's bollocks. As soon as Gomez said, "Oh, my mate Danny," yeah, he called it. He called it. He's going to score a goal, the winner. I mean, it's that predictable how fragile our defence is, and I mean, it's unbelievable that we're playing. You think Chelsea are going to come here and lose? No way. We're a million miles away. You think we get finished fourth every season? We're one season we'll push on. No way. We are a million miles away.
Arsene, unfortunately, it's not a new experience for you to suffer a defeat like that against a title rival this season.
Yes, I believe I take full responsibility for that defeat today, and that's it. There's not much purpose to talk too much about it because we have a big game now on Tuesday night and we want to respond. We were not at the level today, and after 20 minutes it was game over, and that becomes a nightmare then. You know, you have no chance to come back, basically, down to 10 men, 3-0 down. It's, every minute, there's no minute in a game of that stature that is not important, and we missed a few of them.
You say you take responsibility, but you know, there on the pitch, what could you have done to prevent it?
It's my job, you know, and unfortunately, despite the vast experience I have, I think when you do not turn up in a game like that, it's your responsibility.
3-0 up. I mean, was you saying it yourself? Was you carrying it out saying 4-5, or was you like? Actually, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Even at 3-0 up, I was thinking to myself, we haven't played very well.
We haven't really, but I mean, to be 3-0 up and lose like that, it's an absolute joke, mate.
We didn't lose. It's a draw, but
it feels like a fucking loss, isn't it? But yeah. I mean, really and truly, I mean, to have like, I mean, I know we got injuries and whatnot, but really and truly, to get a point out of that should have been 3 points in the bag. Mm. We could have qualified tonight.
What went wrong? What went wrong today?
I honestly, I would love to know. I think it's just the players are not cut out enough. I just don't think we've got the right players anymore. Arteta needs to leave. For me, anyway, I think Arteta needs to leave. Simple as that. We're lacking.
You know what? You're blaming Arteta, and if I remember rightly, when he came off the pitch, we were 3-0 up.
Yeah, but really and truly, I generally don't believe that we have enough depth in the squad. Mm. I mean, Chelsea have it. Man City's got it. Well, I mean, they lost, but I mean, really and truly, we should have done a lot better. We should have done a lot better, but it's embarrassing, I guess. I feel gutted, to be honest with you. Cheers.
Arsene, your thoughts on a hugely disappointing night for you?
Well, I think the end result is very disappointing. We had a bit bad luck because the first goal was offside. A bit lack of concentration because we thought job is done. And a bit of fatigue as well. We had problems to finish the game and we didn't win the challenges anymore. And in the end, I think overall, defensively we were poor from the first to the last minute today.
Is that, I think, the biggest reason that you lost that 3-0 lead today? You thought you had the job done. You were still attacking, even at 3-1.
Yes, of course. When they came back to 3-2, you want to secure yourself again, and we were maybe not cautious enough, yes, because we wanted to score goal number 4, but still think it will look well at the goals 2 and 3. I think it's very poor defending.
Could you, at 3-0 up or even 3-1, could you see that happening at all?
I was never completely sure that we were not in danger because you could see that the whole game we didn't defend well.
Is your feelings one of frustration or anger tonight?
You have both, but you have to be realistic as well. They're a good side, and on the 2 games it's hugely disappointing today because you can only be disappointed when you're 3-0 up, but over 2 games you got 4 points. When you look at their performances, it's well paid for us.
What do you think the price is that you'll pay? Do you think that's the likelihood of winning the group out of the window?
Look, we'll see. We have to win our next game and see if we have a chance. It's likely now that Dortmund will win the group, yes. And as I told you before the game, we have one worry is to qualify first.
Oh my gosh! I mean, practically every fan I've spoken today is not happy. They want Wenger out, or they're very unhappy with how the team's performed. What's gone wrong with Arsenal?
Well, he seems to set us up to fail every time. We've got no tactics, we've got no leadership out there. You know, we're done down the flanks for the winning goal, and we don't seem to have a man motivator in the dressing room. You know, if you look at Manchester United in their prime under Fergie, they freshened it up with good number twos. We don't seem to, you know, the relationship, I don't know, between Wenger and Steve Bold, how strong is it? Because at the moment, you know, it's certainly we're lacking in various different areas on the pitch.
I mean, you know, we know about the injuries and stuff like that in defence, but it's the way we're conceding these goals. I mean, it's schoolboy stuff.
Oh, it's very sloppy, yeah. Schoolboy errors, you know, basic errors. I mean, for the second goal, Monreal didn't jump, you know, and you can't have a, you know, centre-half, 5'0", you know, who can't jump and sort of lift his feet off the ground, you know. But we're certainly he sets us up to fail, you know. Didn't buy a backup centre-half, very disappointing. It's up to him now, you know, this is why he gets paid £8 million a year to obviously, you know, pick us up out of this hole. We've got a massive game against Manchester United. We've got to go out there, believe we can do it, and show a bit more enthusiasm and willingness on the pitch, I believe, you know.
Arsenal Fan TV, convincing win today, 3-0, but they did make it hard for us.
Yeah, they did. I personally feel we was 1-0 Chris. I think we played really well today. But my main criticism is rotation. I personally don't feel we should have started the likes of Podolski, the likes of Campbell, and like Rosicky. Guys like them should have played against a team like Burnley because we were always going to win this game, in my opinion.
Arsenal Fan TV, you wasn't too optimistic. I saw you before the game, and you're right.
Well, to be fair, like what Tom just said, you spend all your money and your time coming here, and you get a performance like that. I said against Hull and Anderlecht, teams have sussed us out. In the summer, we needed a line, a straight line, a defensive mid, a centre-back replacing for Marlon, a striker. Sanchez is your kind of striker, and Welbeck, you can let that one go. But today, the two goals come from the two other positions. Gibbs, I think it was Gibbs, had to make the tackle, got a yellow card for the free kick. And then for the second goal, we got Mertesacker. I don't know what has happened to him since the World Cup. That won the tallest player, well, the tallest player in our club, I think it is, or outfield player. And he's getting out-jumped for headers. Like Jan just said, on 76 minutes, I said, Gomes will score. 2 minutes later. If I can see that, why can't Wenger see it? The man is stubborn. It took him 79 minutes to make a change, and the only reason he made that change is because he had no plan B, and we go 2-1 down. Before the game, we were having a chat about Klopp, and to be honest, I want Wenger out. But he's only going to go upstairs because he's got too much power. And then Klopp or whoever will come in, and he'll be like a puppet. He will not get none of the finances provided to him, and it'll be the same old shit of fourth every year and winning nothing. There's too many deluded fans at this club, and the thing that hurts me, the most, right, is the one thing that I used to really like about the Arsenal fans is that everyone stuck together. At half time now, and this isn't the first time, this goes back as far as maybe Villa at home, the 3-1. You're seeing fans fighting amongst each other. That is an Arsenal. Because there's too much of a split between deluded fans who think fourth and fuck all is good enough, and between people that live in the real world. I would rather finish outside the top four because we just make up numbers in the Champions League. I want days out in cup finals. But all he's cared about, and it was proven when he said that fourth place is like winning a trophy. Look, you got Swansea fans taking a piss. Who are Swansea?
The guy's very, very demoralising that.
Demoralising, and I mean, what was the worst thing is as a lifelong Gooner, is that I was demoralised from the start because I didn't even think we could do anything. You saw we couldn't do anything.
But we were 1-0 up. So when we went, you know, it was a very poor performance in the first half. But when we went 1-0 up, was you not thinking to yourself, okay, we can kick on from this?
No, absolutely not. And that's probably what upset me more than anything else. We didn't think that we could actually hold the lead or do anything else after that. And I've got to say something. The worst thing I think about what's happened, and I mean, I do respect Wenger for what he's done with this club. The biggest thing that I'm most upset about, and I go to most away games, is the thing that he's driven between us, between the Wenger in, Wenger out. I've never seen that between Arsenal. Fans fighting. 48 years of following the Arsenal home and away. I've never seen at the moment the fans against each other. And it's wrong. It can't be right.
What needs to be done? What do you think needs to be done?
Well, what I think needs to be done without a doubt at the moment is that I would love to see Arsenal move upstairs because he's great. But what worries me most of all is that if Arsenal moves upstairs with his own philosophy, that he's just going to have too much conviction on the people below him and then turn around and go, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. We're all going, buy this, buy that. It's not that. But if you look at Arsenal now, we're away to Swansea. For crying out loud, we're away to Swansea. And I talked to Arsenal fans last night and I talked today, and not one of them said, we will win. We'll win. Not one of them said. Everyone went, a draw. That can't be. We're playing Swansea. We're supposed to be a Champions League team. And we're playing Swansea. I mean, that's got to be wrong. That has got to be wrong, Robbie. At the end of the day, we should be turning around and we should be coming places like this and going, that's it, 3 points. We can't do it. We can't sit do it because the fans haven't got a total and utter commitment with the team because we're looking going, yeah, we don't believe it. And if we don't believe it and we're looking at the team don't believe it, we're not going to do it, are we?
We just lack balance. We lack balance. There's no spine in the club anymore. You know, we get put through ticket rises. Look at my wallet now. Look at that. That is empty because of following the Arsenal.
Not acceptable anymore. It's not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. This performance was a disgrace. Absolutely disgraceful. We've only got one player that has got any use in this team at the moment, and that's Sanchez. The rest of them are
Come on, you've got to give it up. I thought today, you know what, a player that I thought played well today was Oxlade-Chamberlain. He had a good game today. It wasn't, I mean, you can't blame every player today. I thought Oxlade-Chamberlain had a very good game today.
As a team, it's not acceptable. And he sits there with 80 minutes before he brings the substitution on.
Did he have a chance to make... I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Did he have a chance... Hold on, wait a minute. You have to ask the question. Did he have a chance? They literally scored from the free kick, and then about a minute later, they scored again. What was he supposed to... As soon as they scored from the free kick, was he supposed to have immediately brought somebody on them? Because it's only 1-1. It is only 1-1 at that point.
Exactly.
Is this knee-jerk? Or, you know,
There's no knee-jerk, There's no knee-jerk. The whole team is good. It's a mess. The whole thing is a mess at the moment. The whole thing is... There's no knee-jerk, mate. Right, listen, let me put it there. It's time for a change now. If you have a milk, if your milk goes stale, what do you do with it?
You throw it out.
You don't put it back in the fridge, do you?
No.
Right, exactly. And I think it's time for a change. I'm sorry, I stuck by him a long time. He's done a lot of good for the club, but it's time to go. It's time to go. I had people moaning at me at half-time. I had people moaning at me saying I moan too much. Maybe I do fucking moan, but I care about this. I care about this club.
You know what? I want to get time because
no.
I want to get time because I know that. Hold on, because I know that you're. I know that you're normally very. I know that you're normally very positive about Arsene Wenger.
Absolutely.
Now, can you be positive after a performance like that today? I mean, that was poor.
Yeah, it was disappointing, but then.
I'm asking you, can you be positive? Can you be positive?
Of course we can be positive because I don't know how we lost that game. At the end of the day, what I see, okay, we gave away a bad goal. There's nothing you could do about the free kick.
You can't keep making stupid excuses. And this is the problem with this club. It's people like you.
Who's people like me?
No, people like you won't accept it. You won't accept it.
Who are people like me?
No, you.
Who are people like me? And who am I? Tell me who I am then.
Because you won't accept it.
Are you more committed than me? Are you more committed than me?
Are you more committed than me?
Are you more committed than me?
Listen, hold on.
Just because I don't want to be negative.
Listen, is this what...
Is this?
Hold on, wait a minute.
Positive. We're 12 points behind the title.
Is this the split in a nutshell?
Our great manager handed the title to Chelsea by giving Fabregas, saying you're not good enough to come to us when we got Flamini and Arteta. And he says, no, you go to Chelsea, mate.
Just give me one positive. What positive can you take out of
Alexis, fantastic goal. A brilliant ball to Theo to score. But
and can there be? You know, these guys have got these guys. Hold on, these guys have got a point. It's a long way to come for a very poor performance.
It is a long way.
What needs to be done? What needs to be done at Arsenal now to improve the club, so that we're not putting in performances like this?
Obviously, we need Lauren back. Lauren shows what a fantastic defender he is.
And whose fault
because
was that?
it's not. Well, it's not his fault if he gets injured, is it?
Who did he not buy in the summer?
He didn't buy the. He didn't buy defender. He didn't buy defender.
Listen, guys.
It's not his fault that
I'm going to make you both get on your coach.
No,
right? I'm going to make you both get
the
on your
coach leaves me here because I'm so embarrassed with that performance today. I don't care if it leaves me here.
We just lack balance. We lack balance. There's no spine in the club anymore. You know, we get put through ticket rises. Look at my wallet now. Look at that. That is empty because of following the Arsenal.
I told you. It's not just me. It's not just me. And I know you're going to sit there and say, like I said earlier, you're going to say, oh, Reggie, just put the bad clips. They only have 2 wins in the league. They're all bad clips. They're all bad clips. Every now and then I'll do that. I'll make a mashup of fan reaction and Wenger post-game interviews and put them together so you can hear exactly the mentality. But then a couple of the clips towards the end of the mashup were talking about how Arsenal fans are divided and fighting amongst each other, and the last clip I just played proves it. There's one guy who wants Wenger out. There's one guy that wants Wenger in. And the amount of yelling and screaming and drunk arguing between the two. And you can feel the passion coming through the speakers. But like I said, it's not just me. It's not just me. But anyways, thank you for listening to the Football Weekly podcast. I'm your host, Reggie. As usual, you can hit me up on Twitter at Reginaldinho or go to the website www.footballweekly.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.